Yassas! G'day guys, Tom and Wade here from Different Drop, and we are going to the old world today for a deep dive on Greek wines. I think Greek wine, very exciting, very underrated, and for us poor Aussies down here on the other side of the world, just a really interesting thing to learn about. Wade, you're a bit of an expert on Greek wine, aren't you?
No. Is the easy answer to your question. So I've tasted a few bits and pieces of Assyrtiko and a bit of Xinomavro here and there, but no, I'm clean slate.
Well, I will be your Discaris, I believe it's called, which means teacher.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep, I learned 2 words for this video today.
Fantastic.
Hello and teacher.
Great, bit of research.
So, look, Greek wine, obviously not exactly a new wine producing country, but I think it is going through a bit of a renaissance at the moment because, at least from the perspective of Australia, and I'm sure other countries as well, Greek wine was producing, you got retsina and other kind of interesting, questionable styles and cheap and cheerful wines.
Ugh.
But there's actually some incredible old vineyards, incredible varieties, and like in a lot of parts of the world, a new generation of younger producers doing some really interesting things. So
Cool.
We're just going to do a little bit of a tour around the country.
Yep.
So hopefully that gives us a pretty good idea of what to expect. So we're starting off with, you mentioned Assyrtiko.
Yep.
And that's probably a variety that has become very well known in Greece, and primarily from the wines of Santorini. So in the Greek islands there, beautiful island, Santorini, where now... Have you been to Santorini?
No, I've never been to Greece.
I've been to Santorini. And it's an amazing place because it's like an old volcano, I imagine, but it's this huge rocky cliffs to get onto the main island, and then it's just a big kind of plateau valley sort of thing. And it's incredibly windy, incredibly exposed to the wind. And so they plant Assyrtiko in these little like kind of bush vines that are almost like little nests.
Yeah, I've seen them. They end up looking like gnarly little sort of sea creatures or something.
Yeah.
They're like all twisted and
to protect
like a little basket.
protect the grapes from the high wind, particularly the older vineyards there and old vines.
Yep.
So this is Argyros, excellent producer there. Been making wines since the early 20th century, so like 120 years. And it's a blend of Assyrtiko, let's see how I go remembering this, Assyrtiko, Atiri, and Adani. So 3 varieties and just a fresh sort of easy drinking wine.
The first thing it reminded me of straight off the bat was like kind of Hunter Semillon.
Yeah.
Like it kind of smells like lemony, a little bit waxy, a little bit honeyed.
Yeah.
And the acidity is quite fresh. Like it's got a little bit more texture and a little bit more weight probably than what you'd think for a young Hunter Sem, but it's sort of in that mode, I think. If you're looking for like fresh, crisp seafood whites, this would go brilliantly.
Yeah, I agree. It's fresh, isn't it? It's just like lovely fresh white. You'd love that with like a plate of oysters.
I want like white bait and chips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yum. Delicious, fresh. Hunter Semillon is a fantastic comparison. Lemony. Doesn't feel like there's any kind of oak or anything in that. It's just fresh stainless steel. Delicious though.
Yum. What a cool start.
Great start.
Okay.
And you can imagine drinking that. I could imagine drinking that on Santorini in amongst the white rooftops.
Yeah, okay.
Staring into the eyes of... No, I was there with Brett, actually.
I can picture you're wearing like white linen. Yeah, just a open white linen shirt.
It's my go-to.
Yeah.
All right, great. And doing lots of other Greek things. All right. We're still now with Assyrtiko. I thought it would be really interesting to see this variety in a couple different lights. But this time we're not on Santorini. We were heading inland to a region called... How do you pronounce it? It's... Amendian, I think is the name of the region. 700 meters altitude.
Okay.
So high altitude inland.
Okay, cool.
So warm days, cold nights. The producer, Kyriani, so not as old, about 25 years old, but a spin-off from, I believe, Greece's oldest producer. It's called Boutari.
Cool.
So it's Giannis Boutaris.
So what are they, like 4,000 years old or something like that?
So I don't know about that. He was maybe in the modern movement, not like 80th generation. No, he was Giannis Boutaris. And he's established Kyriani in 1997, and this is his son who's making the wines. Now, this is a little bit more winemaking. Still stainless, I believe, but spends 4 or 5 months on lees after fermentation.
Wow. Okay.
More aromatic.
Definitely. So instead of just being like kind of citrusy, where that kind of sits.
Yeah.
This is really beautifully floral.
Yeah.
Like you get a really lovely sort of white flower perfume to it.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
And texturally, it's way more interesting as well because the acid is tighter and fresher. It's got like a little bit more crunchy minerality to it.
Yeah.
And
But
you can
also
feel that lees content.
A little bit of creaminess there, isn't there?
There's a roundness to the palate as well.
That's a
which
fantastic
that doesn't quite have. Beautiful.
Isn't it?
How much is that, like, on the shelf?
I actually couldn't tell you exactly. I think they're all sitting in that sort of $30 to $40 kind of range. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome value if that's like around $30.
I think so. Minerality, texture, lovely aromatics.
Yum.
Beautiful drink.
I'll take that one home tonight. That's rad.
Mate, we're just getting started. We're just getting started. All right, so now we're going from mainland Greece all the way down to Crete.
Okay.
So, big island down the bottom.
I think this is where my girlfriend's family's from.
You should probably know that.
I should probably
and
know
you should
that.
probably take this one home then.
Yes.
Even if it sucks, and I'll take the other one.
Okay.
It won't suck. Douloufakis is the producer. Nikos Douloufakis is the winemaker. And again, doing some really exciting things with old vineyards there on Crete. Interesting thing about the variety, it's Vidiano. Another one you've got a lot of experience with.
Well, I've actually got a cellar full of Vidiano at home. Yeah.
Well, I think you're just doing a Vidiano exploration. No, it's actually a very scarce variety that kind of like Viognier and a couple of these varieties, Fiano, nearly went extinct and is being revived. Not that many producers really doing interesting things with Vidiano, often blended away, but can make some really, really interesting wines.
That's interesting. Okay, so flavor profile-wise, I can see what you're talking about because it's kind of a little bit more nectarine-y.
Yeah,
so you're getting more like a
fruits.
stone fruit sort of spectrum. But it's got this really slaty, steely kind of back palate to it as well. So like, if you lick the coastline of Crete, I'm sure it tastes like this, like, salty.
What does that
rocks.
even mean?
It's it's like white rocks.
Quite sandy, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Actually, get a mouthful of pebbles.
I know, mate. It's got that thirst-slacking kind of mineral feel to it.
Yeah.
And definitely a stone fruity sort of texture. I'm not going to say it's like overly complex.
No.
It's quite fruit forward and friendly.
Yeah.
But very tasty.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the kind of structure and weight of this.
I think that's fire, that one.
Yeah.
Like I'll be buying that. That's awesome. And this is really interesting. But I'm not like a Viognier sort of dude anyway. But in terms of that sort of style, that sort of weight, this has got much more acid than you usually associate with something like Viognier.
Very clean, very pure. Just that kind of more peachy, nectarine-y sort of flavour profile. But really nicely done. Lovely drink. All right, now we're slowly getting darker in colour here. So we have a rosé, obviously. How do you pronounce it? Zafarakis.
Of course. Yes, of course.
And the variety is a Limniona.
Oh, that's a grape?
Yeah, it's a grape.
Okay.
So again, we're inland, we're north. We're on the hills of Mount Olympus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yes, this is
like Ford's rosé.
Yeah, something like that.
Cool.
This is Christoph Zafarakis. Again, I believe like 5th generation winemaker, doing some really interesting things. Limniona being a red variety, poor sandy soils there, make some really interesting styles. Often compared, in my extensive experience, to Merlot as a red grape.
Right.
Which does well on kind of sand and clays. Open sort of juicy styles and a very popular rosé.
It's got a beautiful colour. Look at it. So like really lovely salmon. And
electric salmon?
Is that a colour? Sounds like a sick band. They play like jazz fusion, punk, pop.
Let's go see electric salmon tonight and drink rosé.
Okay. So I mean, it's pretty easy, hey? It's like dry, kind of a little bit more, flavour and texture and weight than sort of just a boring Provence rosé.
It definitely has like a plumpness, a juiciness, a ripeness to it, which I think is actually really appealing because it doesn't feel sweet or overripe. I've had some Greek rosés. There used to be this great little Greek restaurant in Newtown that we used to go to, when we were super duper poor, and you could take your own wines. But they did have some of their wines there, and they had a rosé that was seriously the worst wine I've ever drank. It was sickly sweet, and I remember that put me off Greek wine for years. That place, But this is nothing like that. This is like lovely, dry, juicy,
it feels
clean.
Like a fresh modern Australian rosé almost, you know, where it's got a little bit more fruit power to it, you know, and it's quite bright. Bit strawberry, sort of watermelon kind of, it's good.
All right, so let's get into the reds. So we've got the Gaia wines, the monograph, Agiorgitiko.
Go on. You can do it, Tom. Get there,
Agiorgitiko. So Gaia is one of the kind of, I guess, modern stars of the new Greek wine.
Yeah, so I do know a smidgen about Greek wine because I did actually meet these two last guys earlier this year.
Right. Yeah, you did. Of course you did.
Yeah, when they came out, which was very, very cool. Yeah. And these were my two most impressive producers on the day when we sort of tasted that massive suite of Greek wine that's coming in.
So these reds, when you're looking at varieties like Agiorgitiko and Xinomavro, are coming from mostly like northern central kind of Greece, right? Where it's up mountainous, higher altitude, 600-700 meters. Okay. Some really cool soils, and seem to work really well with these varieties. So I believe this is designed in very much an easy drinking, kind of lightly oaked kind of style.
Yeah. Cool. It's very much in that mode of like, I think lighter, softer McLaren Bale GSM-y.
Yeah, it feels almost a little bit Beaujolais.
Yeah, it could be in that sort of spectrum as well. It's got a really nice, savoury, kind of licoricey finish to it.
Yeah.
But heaps of bright red fruit up front. No oak, like getting in the road.
No.
Fresh, vibrant.
Very fresh, very tasty.
Could love a chill, actually.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say poolside red.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I go swimming, I reach for an Agiorgitiko. That's my first thought, generally.
Yep.
I mean, don't drown. If I make it through that part, Agiorgitiko.
Cool.
Tasty. Easy. Again, this isn't super complex. Little Beaujolais Nouveau, unoaked Grenache. That kind of vibe.
It's bright and it's juicy and it's spicy and it wants a chill. Like, I'm into it. I'll drink that in summer.
Very, very clean and pure.
Yeah.
Super, super fresh.
Yep.
Yum. All right. Thymiopoulos. So I reckon Apostolos Thymiopoulos is one of the most impressive producers that we've seen from Greece. You met Apostolos last year.
I did. He is an absolute dude. The guy is like the rock star of Greek wine at the moment. I think he was Decanter's winemaker of the year last year. Like Decanter magazine,
that's right,
which is insane. And they said he was single-handedly changing the face of Greek wine, or something along those lines. And the dude is awesome. And he makes a whole range of Xinomavro.
He's all about Xinomavro, isn't he?
Yeah, and single site stuff that gets up to $150, $200 a bottle, and that stuff is elite.
Wow!
I brought that bottle back.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Mate, it was epic red
wine of the year.
It was so good.
So this is the young vine Xinomavro. So again, coming from north, sort of central Greece, up around Naoussa. Naoussa, I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Yep.
Down towards Macedonia there. Again, high altitude, poor soils. Xinomavro seems to thrive. Xinomavro as a variety, as opposed to Agiorgitiko and Limniona, which I think are more open, sort of easygoing wines. Xinomavro has a lot more tannin and structure.
Definitely.
So people compare it to kind of Nebbiolo.
Yep.
It's still light midweight fruit, but structure.
Yeah. This feels a little bit darker and a little bit more. It's got sort of a darker fruit profile than sort of Nebbiolo, where you're looking more at sort of cherry and rosy sort of characters. This is a lot more sort of tarry and sort of dark and moody and spicy.
It smells fantastic.
But what I love is it's still got vibrancy as well.
Yeah.
It's really quite fresh and alive on the palate, but it's just got more tannin than this. It's kind of going to stand up to a more robust meal.
Are you right? Can you see what this Muppet just did? What's Greek for Muppet?
I'm so sorry.
Fair dinkum. That's right.
And get you a towel.
No. Let's go. Let's keep going. It's all right. The room's going to smell good. I'm just going to.
All right. Jeez, that's embarrassing.
You're a bit carried away with your young vines in a map.
Cool. All right. This looks red hot, man. I'm into it.
Beautiful wine. It looks a lot like Nebbiolo. I've got to say, like the nose has that interplay between cherries, a little bit dark, as you say, plum, and florals, and that earthy, tarry.
Yeah, it's the finish that really nails me. Like it's earthen, it's spicy, it's got grip, but without heaviness. Like it's got structure and muscle without being heavy.
That's an unreal one, and really smart value too. I reckon that sits on the shelf. I'm going to guess, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, everyone, about 36, 38 retail.
Yeah.
In that zone, which I think is outstanding value.
I mean, find me a Nebbiolo at that price that drinks that well.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Far out. That's cool. Awesome.
What a good lineup. What an interesting lineup. And I think we're seeing a little bit of everything here because we're seeing freshness and purity in all 6 of the wines. Without exception. They're all very well made, very precise, very clean, lovely fruit.
Yep.
So there's no bad wines here. And then in 2 or 3 of them, you're seeing an extra level of like complexity and varietal character and I suppose Greek terroir. I mean, hard to know without trying many wines from the area, but some really, really interesting wines. I think this Assyrtiko, fantastic. I think that the young vine Xinomavro, probably the wine of the lineup.
They're really standouts. Like you can see, quality examples at fairly non-exorbitant prices. No, but in all seriousness, they're shit hot, those wines. I really like them. If they're under $40, then I think they're really good.
Yeah. So great value, guys. Check out Greek wines. We've kind of made it easy for you. We've actually put all 6 of these wines in a fantastic little mix pack on our website. It's called the so name of the pack, Wade?
It's all Greek to me.
It's all Greek to me pack.
Yes.
It's all Greek to me pack. So you can get all these 6 wines together. Cheeky little discount on that pack for you as well. This is a fantastic, I'd say like a warm weather pack. This over summer,
right.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's red hot.
Exciting. I'm really keen to learn more about Greek wine, to be honest, and try some of these more single-site expressions and dive in. So,
yep. I think you got a really good snapshot here. I dig that pack. That's very cool.
Unreal. All right, guys, cheers. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because you really, really should, and it would make us happy. And you're going to hear about all the content we're doing. Jump on the website, check out all the cool wines we've got, including these, and we will see you again very soon.
Oppa!
Cheers.